Grey's Anatomy Season 17 saw the team at Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital dealing with the coronavirus pandemic, with Meredith Grey herself falling sick and ending up on a beach in her dreams where she reunited with familiar faces. Grey's Anatomy focuses on the lives of surgical interns, residents, and attendings as they do their best to juggle their professional and personal lives. Grey's Anatomy is led by Meredith Grey, Ellen Pompeo, who viewers have followed through her whole journey, including the death of her husband and father of her children, Derek Shepherd, Patrick Dempsey. Meredith has frequently been a patient at Seattle Grace Hospital, now Grey Sloan Memorial Hospital, with her COVID-induced coma only being one of the most recent instances. After working at the COVID-19 ICU and performing surgery with Cormac Hayes, Richard Flood, Meredith collapsed in the hospital's parking lot, dreaming of a beach that she had already seen during naps. However, this new visit was different as she was greeted by a very special person there, and he was the first of many surprise returns and emotional visits. Every character Meredith saw on the beach is important to her. Derek Shepherd. Derek smiling while standing on the beach in Grey's Anatomy. The character who greeted Meredith at the beach when she collapsed in the parking lot was none other than Derek Shepherd. Meredith's rollercoaster relationship with Derek was at the core of Grey's Anatomy, and fans were devastated when Derek died in Season 11. Derek was offered a job in DC, so he flew back and forth, which brought some problems to their marriage. When things seemed to have gone back to normal between Meredith and Derek, he had to make one final trip to DC to resign, but he got into a car accident. Derek was taken to Dillard Hospital, but after a lot of complications, he was removed from life support. Of course, Derek had to meet with his wife at the beach, but Meredith struggled to reach him, always ending up in the same spot, far away from him. They eventually got closer and continued talking about their family, his death, and even got married on the beach. He convinced her that she had to go back as their kids needed her, all while the audience got to see more of the show's main couple again. Giorgio O'Malley. George and Meredith laying on the beach in Meredith Season 17 coma dream in Grey's Anatomy. One big surprise brought by Grey's Anatomy Season 17 was the return of George O'Malley, T.R. Knight, one of the characters who started as an intern alongside Meredith and who became one of her best friends. George O'Malley died in Grey's Anatomy Season 6 when he jumped in front of a bus to save a woman's life on his last day off before joining the army. This left him severely disfigured, to the point where the people at Seattle Grace didn't recognize him, and it wasn't until he traced 007, one of his nicknames, on Meredith's hand that they knew who this John Doe patient was. Despite all the team's efforts, George was declared brain dead, and so they had to say goodbye to him. Meredith found George at a lifeguard tower on the beach, and she asked why he looked older than when he died, to which he replied that she was imagining him that way as it was more comfortable for her. Together, they reflected on George's death and his time at the hospital, and he even confessed to Meredith that he had checked in on her and her kids, showing that even after his death, their strong bond continued. Richard Webber. Richard Webber wearing his scrubs with his hands on his waist in Grey's Anatomy. Richard Webber, James Pickens Jr., is one of the few characters from Grey's Anatomy who appeared on the beach that aren't dead. After falling ill, Meredith gave Webber him power of attorney as she trusts him, and they have an interesting history that has led to a strong bond between them. Years before Meredith's internship, Richard had an affair with her mother, Ellis Grey, and though this was something hard for Meredith to get over, they eventually developed a close friendship and now have a father and daughter-like relationship. As Meredith's condition worsened, Richard had to make a decision about how to treat her next, and as she became aware of his presence, he appeared on the beach with her and George and talked about trying to stay strong for everyone worrying about her.